I just saw a secret thing, so it's time to talk a little food.
How you get so big eating food of this kind?
Hey friends! So if you've been following the channel, you're aware that I spent this weekend at Star Wars Celebration. It was my first celebration, really my first big convention, and it was basically the most amazing thing I've ever had the chance to do. But one of the amazing things I got to do was to go to the Star Wars Resistance panel, which means that I have seen the first episode of the second season of Star Wars Resistance, and I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about it. This is going to be a spoiler-free review. If you are looking for spoilers, there's any number of places I'm sure you can find them on the internet, but I'm just going to kind of talk to you guys generally about what happens without giving anything away. I really want you guys to be able to enjoy this episode on your own. But with that, yeah, I gotta be honest, I don't even know what the episode was called. They might have told us, but I spent like the whole panel screaming, so if they told us, I didn't hear it. But Season 2, Episode 1 was really good. I mean, it was right in line with the quality of episodes we saw at the end of Season 1. The animation actually, I don't know, maybe it was because I was watching it on a giant screen with like a state-of-the-art projector instead of like on my laptop, but the animation looked stunning. Absolutely stunning. There was a lot of character moments, there was a lot of action moments. I think the most important thing about the episode, and the thing I really wanted to let you guys know, is this show is not going to keep you waiting. This is one thing I've noticed about Resistance as a series in general. I mean, granted, like Clone Wars and Rebels, they didn't necessarily take their time. Both of those shows had a lot of slow burn plot lines before they got to their big payoffs, which is perfectly fine. Resistance surprised me every time at how quickly they would just get to what they were building to. I remember going through my Season 1 episodes, there was only one episode of all of Season 1 that at the time I thought was okay, kind of redundant, didn't feel like I needed it, and then in hindsight, that one episode became the groundwork for things we needed to know for at least 5 other episodes. So even though I didn't understand the point of the episode at the time, it ended up being one of the most relevant episodes of the season. In that regard, this show does not change when it goes to the start of Season 2. I won't say what plot lines, but there were several major plot lines, several major questions that I've seen thrown around within the Resistance fandom that they get to right away. Like, the big things they're not going to leave you wondering about. They're not going to play out over, a several episode arc. Like, they get right down to business right from the get-go, and that's something I've really, really appreciated about this show, is it's so fast-paced. Like, not even necessarily within the episode. I mean, the episodes themselves give you time to breathe, but this show, it doesn't have fill. Or when it does do filler, it does filler that is at least relevant to a character or some other element of the show. I was most pleased to see that does not seem to be changing. Granted, I've seen one episode, so I don't know, maybe it changes with the next, but I'm happy to see that it's just going to hit the ground running. As for the tone of the episode, it was a really interesting episode tonally. If you were watching my daily vlogs, you heard me and my friend, the negotiator, talking about this. Tonally was very funny. I mean, there were parts where I was laughing, the kind of good little character vignettes that you get throughout the show. But there was also kind of a very unique, I want to say horror aspect, and I'm reticent to say that because I don't want you to be like, oh, it's the Force ghost of 5 past Sith Lords haunting the... Like, I don't mean, like, necessarily, like, there's supernatural stuff happening when I say horror, but I mean the tone of the episode, the way it's framed, the music cues, the lighting cues, the sound cues, it was very much done in a tension on what's going on within the episode. And it was really fun to see. The only other episode that I can remember that was like that was the one with the giant Kowakian lizard where we first met Sonara. And it was similar to that, I would say. There's not a giant Kowakian monkey lizard, so don't misunderstand. But just tonally it felt like that. And the emotion. I mean, I laughed, I was tensed, but I was also moved. I mean, there's big things that happened at the end of the first season with Tam that I won't say in what way, again, because I want you to watch the episode, but it's affected characters a lot, and it's affected Kaz a lot, and seeing that play out on screen was just, it was a lot. And it was a lot in a good way. And so I'm very excited to see where the dynamics in the show go after this. Along with the episode itself, I wanted to show you, I got this really cool poster. So this is the Season 2 of Resistance poster. I kind of want to show you guys some elements on it. I will talk about this poster. Nothing I'm going to say about this poster you should infer is something I've seen in the episode. This is just stuff I see looking at it. Tam and Kaz being right on the cover, bisected by the Colossus. I mean, the tension between the two of them is going to be such an important point. You can see on here we have Doza and Yeager, Niku, Buggles, CB23 Bucket. That's just important because they're all characters right there. What's interesting is Tora isn't truly on the poster. I mean, you can see her, she's with the aces along the top. You can see her ship. I do think that's interesting because I don't know if this would count as a spoiler or not, but you see her in the first episode. So it's interesting to me that she's in the first episode but not on the poster, and I don't know if that means anything. In the bad guys department, you have Tierney and Pyre, who I'm expecting to continue to be big-time characters. This person here appears to be Jace Rucklin, and the last time we've really seen Jace was in the finale. Somewhere in the two-part finale, he was walking off, presumably to join the First Order. So it seems like he's going to be a major player, and he's the character. The one episode I was saying I was kind of lukewarm on from the first season was Fuel for the Fire, where we met Jace, and clearly that episode is going to be very important because they really are setting up Jace as a big enough deal that he made the poster, which I think is really cool. You can see the First Order is still going to be a big deal, but we also have some X-Wings on there, which makes me feel like we might actually get to meet the Resistance. And obviously, like I said, you can see the aces, so hopefully they're all still majorly involved. And then the back of the poster is my favorite part. We have what I'm presuming is Bitey, but might just be another of his species, but we have Opipet. Poor little Opipet, who still doesn't have his push mop back, but I'm really torn because I want to hang this poster up, and I honestly, genuinely don't know what side I want to display more than the other. But this poster is super awesome. So I'm really excited to see where the second season goes. I really can't get into too much detail without spoiling it for people, which is not what I want to do. Obviously, when the episode comes out, I will do a full review. I will do a full spoiler review. I'm certainly excited to watch the episode again, but until then I'm presuming it's going to premiere again around the same time the first season comes out. I don't know if the date actually got announced. Again, they said things. I was mostly just in awe that I was looking at the people that made the show, and not a whole lot of the words were registering. I was too busy watching Donald Faison and Bobby Monahan run around. They actually did that. It was pretty crazy. So I guess I will see you guys in a couple of months for talking about Resistance. Obviously, they didn't release a full trailer, so obviously once a full trailer comes out, we will have more speculation for the actual season. The episode I saw, I don't really want to say any speculation based on that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Are you out there? Did you see the episode? Let me know what you thought, but please don't put spoilers in the comments section for anybody here trying to watch a spoiler-free review. If you haven't already, follow us on all of the socials. I'm always happy to talk to people wherever I can. And until next time, keep it real and fly casual.
Cooking can be fun.